Next, let's learn how to make a toy. It's divided into the head, ears, hands, body, feet, hair, crown, and scarf. Just crochet them in order. Assemble all the parts once completed. Crochet the head, ears, and hands, using the same starting chain method as the moon. The only difference is the stitch count. Please note, after completing the last round of the head, you need to close the opening using the planetary closing method. The ears and hands don't require closing. Also, after finishing the last stitch of the ears, there's no need to join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. I've already crocheted those parts in advance. Now let's continue with the body. Just follow the chart for crocheting. Now I'll demonstrate the crochet method for round 8. This round also involves connecting the hand. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 4 single crochets in sequence according to the chart. One SC2 tog. 1 single crochet. The next 3 stitches are for connecting the hand. Take the hand and press it flat. Insert the hook into the first and last stitch. Insert into 1 stitch of the body. Work a single crochet through all these stitches together. This completes the first stitch. Continue with the second stitch. Insert into the second and fifth stitch of the hand. Then insert into 1 stitch of the body. Work a single crochet through all these stitches together. This completes the second stitch. Continue with the third stitch. This is how the hand is connected. Then go back to the body. Work a SC2 tog on the body. Four single crochets. One SC2 tog. 1 single crochet. Then take the other hand to connect. The joining method is the same as the previous hand. Pay attention that the slip stitch mark can be placed at the back. Begin by picking up the third and fourth stitches together and work them as one. Once completed, work a SC2 tog on the body. Finish with a slip stitch join. This completes round 8. No new stitch techniques are used in the following rounds. Just follow the chart to crochet. Finally, you'll need to close the opening. That's all for the body crochet method. The foot is started with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Just follow the chart to crochet. Now let's talk about the hair. For the first 4 rounds, follow the chart to crochet. I've already finished mine in advance. Now let's work on round 5. First, make 12 chains. Then start from the second to last stitch. Pick up 1 strand on the top of each chain, and work 11 single crochets in sequence. The next stitch is a slip stitch worked into the first stitch of round 4. This completes one group of stitches. We can also see it as a hair strip. Continue with the second hair strip, worked as the same method as the first one. First, make 12 chains. Start from the second to last stitch. Pick up 1 strand on the top of each chain, and work 11 single crochets in sequence. The next stitch is a slip stitch worked into the second stitch of round 4. This completes the second hair strip. The following steps are demonstrated like this. Refer to the chart to crochet. Each hair strip may have a slightly different number of starting stitches, but the crochet method is similar. Once the last hair strip is completed, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Weave the yarn tail into the right side of the piece. That's all for the crochet method of the hair. Next, let's learn how to crochet the crown. Take the yarn and start with a chain. You can leave a 30 cm yarn tail at the beginning. Once completed, pick up 1 strand of the first chain, and crochet a slip stitch to connect. Pay attention not to twist the chain. This completes the starting chain. Next, crochet the first round. Make 1 chain to begin. Crochet 1 single crochet in each chain correspondingly. This completes the first round. Next, crochet the second round. First, crochet 3 chains. Pay attention not to crochet the chains too tight. Start from the last stitch, pick up the back ridge and crochet 1 slip stitch. 1 single crochet. 1 double crochet. Skip the second and third stitches. Crochet 1 slip stitch in the 4th stitch. This completes one group of stitches. I'll demonstrate another group. First, crochet 3 chains. Start from the last stitch, pick up the back ridge and crochet 1 slip stitch. 1 single crochet. 1 double crochet. Skip 2 stitches underneath. Crochet 1 slip stitch. This completes the second group of stitches. The following steps are the same as the second group demonstration. Refer to the chart and crochet the entire round. The last slip stitch is made in the first stitch position. Fasten off and weave in the yarn. Slightly tidy up the crown. This completes the crochet method for the crown. The scarf starts with a foundation chain. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitch patterns. Next is the toy assembly. Take the body. Use a pin or yarn to mark the center position between the two hands. To find the center. For easier assembly later. Take the head. The increase placement on the 11th round is for the cheeks. Align the side with the cheeks facing you. Position the head between the 16th and 17th rounds. And attach it to the body between the 9th and 10th rounds. Make sure the cheeks are centered as well. You can locate the SC2 in 1 points. Then count toward the center. Once everything is secured in place, begin sewing. There's no specific sewing method required, as long as it's sewn securely. Remove the securing thread as you sew. This way the head and body are sewn together. Next, take the ears. Thread the yarn needle. And sew them onto the head between the 10th and 11th rounds. On the outer side of the SC2 and 1 in round 11. Leave about 13 stitches between the two ears. Remember to keep the right side facing forward while sewing. Everyone weave the yarn tails properly. After one ear is sewn on, sew on the other ear. That's how to sew on the ears. Next, take the hair. Place it with the wrong side facing up. Use pins to secure it from the center position to the top of the head. Place the two shortest hair strips in the middle at the center. Align the hair strips with the center of the face. You can compare with the finished eyes. Leave 3 stitches between the two eyes. Once the position is correct, secure it with pins. Once it's secured, check if it looks good. If it doesn't look good, adjust slightly. Make it look nice. Then apply glue starting from the ending. Adjust while gluing. Wait until the glue is completely dry, then remove the pins. This way the hair strips are glued properly. Next, take the scarf. Wrap it around the neck. With the wrong side facing out. After wrapping one round, secure it with yarn. Place the excess scarf behind the body. Once it's secured, weave in the yarn tails. Also apply glue at the eye area. Press and wait until the glue is completely dry, then take the crown and secure it in place on top of the head with glue. Wait until the glue is slightly dry. Then sew a few stitches with yarn. After the crown is sewn on, glue small pearls on top. Or you can sew them on with yarn. If you choose to sew, Cut a long yarn tail. Take one strand. Thread it through the sewing needle. The needle should be able to pass through the small pearls. Once one pearl is sewn on, tie a knot and weave in the ends. Then sew the remaining pearls. That's all for the pearl sewing method. Glue 1/2 round small red bead in the middle position. Glue 2/2 round small pearls on the body as buttons. Glue the feet on both sides. After gluing, sew a few stitches with yarn to prevent them from falling off. The distance between the feet and the scarf is about 2 rounds. Set it aside after completing. Now proceed with the overall assembly. Take the moon. Use pins to secure the flowers onto the moon. Pay attention to the direction of the moon matching the finished product. Flower 1 in the middle position. Flowers 2 on both sides. Flower 3 on the outermost sides. Once secured, cut one golden chain, approximately 36 centimeters. Take one closed ring. Move from left to right and attach at the 11th centimeter position. Open the closed ring by pulling it apart front and back. Hang the chain on. Then close it back up. Next, take the hook. Use pliers to remove the top part. Attach the closed ring. Sew both ends of the chain onto the pointed ends of the moon. Cut one strand of yarn that matches the moon's color for sewing, or take a piece of gold thread to sew. The colors here are random. Pull out one strand. Thread it into the yarn needle. Start sewing. Sew the shorter side onto the outer part of the moon. Tie off and weave in the ends after sewing. Make sure to weave in a few extra stitches. And weave this thread as well. Sew the other end on the inner side of the moon. After sewing, lift it up to check if it's tilted. If it is, slightly adjust it until it's straight. Then hang it in a suitable spot at home. This step mainly ensures that, when you install it later, the whole piece won't be tilted. And it's also convenient for checking the effect. From the front, the moon shouldn't be visible below the flower. The distance from the top to the middle flower is about 8-9 rounds. Place leaves below the flowers. In between the flowers. Or on both sides. Arrange them according to your preference. Once the position is right, take the string of lights. Wrap it around the flowers, and wrap the lights around. The switch of the light string goes inside the inner pocket. Wrap the light string around the edges. Secure it with pins as you go. Be careful not to pin through the light string. Just pin next to it, mainly to shape the light string. If pins are inconvenient, you can skip them. My sample is small, so I'll secure the light string a few more times. Once done, secure the light string with yarn. Cut a long yarn tail. Take one strand. Insert into the yarn needle. When securing, you can lay it flat to secure. Here's a demonstration of the securing method. Pick up a few threads on the moon surface, and secure with the light string. Once one spot is secured, weave in the yarn tail. I'll just trim it off directly. Follow this method and secure the light string in a few more spots. You can also secure at crossing points like this. Just secure the light string in a few random spots, as long as it doesn't fall off. Secure the remaining positions properly. Once the light string is secured, now secure the leaves. Just secure at one point. Don't attach the leaves completely onto the moon. Let the leaves have a slightly lively feel. After done, weave in the yarn tails. Weave a few extra stitches. Sew the remaining leaves using the same method as this one. Once the leaves are secured, attach the flowers. You can place all the flowers on the moon if you like. Decide the position and then start sewing. No specific method required. Just make sure not to attach them onto the light string, to avoid blocking the light. Once everything is secured, tie off and weave in the ends. That's all for the method of attaching flowers. Now take the non-woven piece and cut it according to the star template. Glue it onto the moon. The first one goes above the flower on the left side, about 6-7 single crochets away. The second one goes between flower 2 and flower 1. Wait until the glue is completely dry, then use thread to sew line segments around it. Sew one line on each of the 4 corners, slightly spaced apart, and sew 2 lines between each corner. Let me demonstrate the technique with a sample. Insert the needle from any position. Start by sewing the 4 corners. Leave a small tail at the end. Then sew between each corner. Sew the remaining positions as well. That's the embroidery method. Once everything is sewn, let's attach the wind chimes at the bottom. I'll demonstrate the assembly method for the left wind chime. When attaching, start by installing the wind chimes on both sides. Then install the one in the middle. Finally install these 4 wind chimes. I'll use this wind chime to demonstrate the method. The rest are assembled in a similar way, just with different pieces. First take a wind chime tube, and a piece of gold thread about 35 centimeters long. Secure the gold thread to the small hole on the wind chime tube. Thread it through this hole. Tie a knot to secure it. Move the knot inside the hole. Once done, thread the other end through the hole. And pull it upward. Insert into a yarn needle. Take one red bead and thread it on. One small flower. Keep the right side and wrong side clean without visible marks. Leave a slight distance between the bead and the small flower. One light blue pearl. Also leave a slight gap between them. If it doesn't stay in place, apply a bit of glue. Wait until the glue is completely dry. Then thread on the next bead. One red bead, one yellow bead. Make sure to wait until the glue is completely dry, before threading on the next bead. One large pearl. Finally attach it to the moon seam line. Below flower 1. Here I'll use a sample to demonstrate the method. The position is for demonstration only. Secure with a few stitches and then tie off, and weave in the ends neatly. That's the assembly method for the left side of the wind chime. For the remaining wind chimes, follow the same assembly method as before. Just assemble them in the corresponding positions shown in the finished product photo. That's all for the wind chime section. Next, let's talk about the stars hanging above. The method is similar to the wind chime. Just follow the finished product photo for assembly. Finally, glue the little prints onto the moon. If you're worried it might fall off, secure it with a few stitches, as long as it doesn't fall off. Finally, on both sides of the eyes, apply a small amount of blush at a time, gradually building up the color. Up to this point, the entire product has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.